All right, so lately we've seen a ton of open style earbuds being released, and today we're checking out one of the latest from Soundcore. And I actually think these are one of the best pair they've ever released for one specific reason, which we'll get into, but first, let's talk price. These come in at $100, which is actually less than the original price of the previous version. And as far as colors, you can see you've got this minty green, which I actually like quite a bit. I've never been big into the color green, but this, I don't mind. There's also white, black, and blue, and it's kind of a toss-up between the blue and the green as far as which is my favorite. Now, when it comes to the charging case, it has a boxier design compared to the original Aerofit. It is on the larger side, as you would expect with this type of design. However, it's still relatively slim, so it can definitely fit in a pocket. It's just going to take up more space compared to a standard pair of earbuds. You have the Type-C charging port on the back, as well as a Bluetooth pairing button. And this time you actually have wireless charging, which is something you don't get with the Aerofit or the Aerofit Pro. Now, moving over to the earbuds, you have the around the ear design. But one thing that sets these apart is the rotatable ear hook. So you can switch between 4 different positions to help get the best fit. And then on the inner portion, the section that actually comes in contact with your ear, you have this very soft silicone finish, which helps as far as comfort. Now, straight out the box, for me, the fit on these was a bit loose. It just felt like they were barely resting on the top of my ear. But just like almost all earbuds with an ear hook design, you can kind of bend and mold the ear hook based on your needs. So for me, I was able to tighten that ear hook a bit and get a more secure fit. I think the best use case is going to be more casual activities, walking, hiking, cycling, and just overall commuting. I think you could get away with more intense activities, maybe CrossFit where you're doing burpees or something like that, but it could be hit or miss depending on your ears. Now, as far as controls, you have a single tap, a double tap, a triple tap, and a tap and hold function, which you can individually customize in the Soundcore app. So between your playback controls, volume control, and your voice assistant, you can choose the layout that works the best for you. Something else you can do is disable the controls altogether. So if you're afraid of accidental touches, maybe you plan on using these for phone calls or meetings and you want to make sure you don't accidentally hang up on somebody, or maybe you want to wear these in the wintertime with a beanie or a skull cap and you want to avoid your hat interfering with your music, again, you could just turn the controls off altogether. You have plenty of other options in the app as well. Of course, you have your EQ controls with over 20 presets to choose from. You can create your own EQ, and you have this 3D surround sound option, which works really well for movies and gaming. It gives you more of a surround sound type of feel, almost like you're in a room with the sound projecting from different directions. Now, as far as using it for music, it's not really something I would use much, but again, for movies and gaming, it's not bad. Aside from that, there's also a dedicated gaming mode, which is designed to reduce lag and enhance the sound of things like footsteps, which it does actually do. It actually changes the sound quite a bit. It removes a lot of the bass and puts the emphasis more on detail just to help you stay focused and locked in. Now, as far as accessibility type features, you have a volume balance option. So if you hear better in one ear versus the other, you can go in there and you can shift the sound towards one ear or the other to kind of compensate for that difference. And this is something that we're starting to see a lot more earbuds include. You can also make changes to the sound mode, which allows you to switch things over to LDAC for higher resolution. If you have a compatible Android device, you can take advantage of that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the earbuds also have multi-point connection, and when you're using LDAC, you can't use multi-point at the same time, so you kind of have to pick and choose there. You also have an automatic power off function, so if the earbuds become disconnected from your phone, you can set a designated amount of time for the earbuds to automatically shut themselves off. And then there's also a Find My Device feature, where if the earbuds are outside the case and connected to your phone, you can cause them to make a really loud sound to help you locate them. Now let's go ahead and talk sound quality, which is the reason I think these are one of the best open style earbuds Soundcore has ever released. These are using a 20mm by 11.5mm racetrack style driver, and they're easily one of the best sounding open style earbuds I've ever tested. Not only do they sound better than the original Aerofit, I actually think they sound a tad bit better than the Aerofit Pro, and it's mainly because of the bass. Soundcore has always had their bass up technology, which is included on the Aerofit and the Aerofit Pro, and is basically just their dedicated bass boost mode. But with the Aerofit 2, they have this new bass turbo technology that makes the bass stronger and more impactful. It's got something to do with an hourglass chamber on the inside. I don't really know the specifics, but what I do know is the bass is definitely punchier than the original Aerofit. And then as far as the Aerofit Pro, they do come closer in terms of the bass, but the Aerofit 2 still have the advantage. Another noticeable difference is the max volume. I would say the Aerofit 2 get around 2 clicks louder than the Aerofit and the Aerofit Pro. So if you're listening at 100% volume and you're somewhere that's relatively quiet, people are going to be able to hear what you're listening to. It shouldn't really be an issue if you're just out in public somewhere, but again, if you're somewhere that's pretty quiet, you probably want to bring that volume down a little bit. All things considered, the sound on these is just a lot more dynamic compared to before. And then there's also the battery life. You're getting around 10 hours on a single charge with a total of about 42 with the case. Just keep in mind things like LDAC, the gaming mode, and I would assume the 3D surround sound feature would all impact those numbers. And then as far as durability, we've got an IP55 dust and water resistant rating. With the original Aerofit, you have an IPX7 rating, which does provide more in terms of water resistance, but there's no dust proofing, so it's kind of a give and take. Either way, outdoor use, gym use is not going to be a problem for the Aerofit 2. All right, so real quick, guys, this is just a microphone test with the Soundcore Aerofit 2, just to give you guys an idea as to how you would sound if you choose to use these for phone calls. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. So with all that said, I think the Aerofit 2 are one of the best sounding open style earbuds on the market. For $100, they bring a lot to the table, and I'm sure at some point they're gonna go on sale, which will just make them that much more attractive. So check out the links down in the description if you guys are interested. Aside from that, I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one.